So technically this is the first video that I'm recording. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild my steering gearbox on this 82 Chevy C10. I've never done this before, so I'm not sure how it's going to come out. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it apart and I'm going to inspect everything, make sure that everything is good, and I'm going to put it back together. I'm going to clean it up, of course, paint it, whatever, and I'm going to check all the O-rings, make sure everything is good. I know it leaks, so I'm going to get a rebuild kit for it, change all the seals. I don't expect anything to be a big deal. It runs, I didn't drive this truck, so I don't know how it felt driving it. But it's pretty smooth. Everything seems to be in order. I don't hear any noises or nothing going on in it. So I don't think I'm going to have to replace anything other than just the seals. But I've never done it before, so this will be fun. Should be a good learning experience. I don't even really know how these things work because I've never seen inside one before. But I have a manual, and I'm going to follow the manual step by step and see if we can't get this thing working good. Alright, I got it set up in the little drain pan there on top of my toolbox. I'm going to start taking it apart. I do not have a videographer, so I'm sorry that this video is probably not a very high quality, but we're going to see what we can do. Alright, so there's a little snap ring right down in here that I took out. There it is right there. Now, I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to pull those 4 bolts right there, right out on. However, since we're pulling it completely apart to inspect every piece, I'm going to go ahead and pull this nut right here off, the preload adjuster. That's going to come off, and then these 4 bolts, and then everything's going to come out through the top. Alright, got that apart now. So now, that wasn't too bad. Got the nut off the adjustment for the preload, which is right there. And now, got the gasket on there. It's pretty nasty looking fluid. But we are going to move on to the next step, which is, alright, so I pulled the seals. 2 seals and 2 washers right out of there. Now you can see the bearing in there. The next step then is going to be to take this plug out, which has this little retaining ring right on there, but it's got to be pried out. Okay, so as you can see, there's a little hole right there. You use a punch to get down behind that pin, and you knock it out, and then you can use a screwdriver or whatever and just work it all the way around until you finally just get right there to the end, and then it'll pop out. Alright, I got the plug out. There's the plug seal, the plug, and there's your retaining ring. Seal. I'm not good at doing this. The plug. Alright. Now, the next step, according to the manual, which by the way, I forgot to tell you, this is a Series 800. And I've got my computer, so it tells you right there. It says right there, rack piston plug must be removed before removing the rack. So, the next step is to remove that rack, and then we can remove all of that from inside. Alright, we got the rack piston out, got a seal on there, got the plug out, and all those little ball bearings. Okay. But the way it works is, if you can see that, you turn your shaft, or turn the steering wheel, turns this little shaft here coming in, and it turns that And then this piston just rides on there, goes back and forth. There's the teeth there, over here, which turns your pinion and your pitman arm. Not that difficult so far. The next step then is to take this nut right here off, and everything should come out nice and easy.